Time for another Palace preview, guys. Thank you so much for watching and joining the channel. Let's get straight into it. Palace preview. Sheffield United against Crystal Palace. Second game of the season. First away day, of course. I want to start things off by saying, unfortunately, I was a bit late getting the ticket for Sheffield United because obviously I was on holiday. I only got back this week. So unfortunately, I haven't been able to get a ticket. I think there are still some available, but I think in terms of getting like trains and stuff, it's going to be mega expensive now, so close to the day. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be going on Sunday, but of course, because it's live, I guess that makes things a little bit easier for me. I will be able to do a review, etc. So I really apologise for that. Hopefully, away games in the future, I'll be able to sort out quicker now that I'm back. And we'll be able to get some matchday vlogs coming up for you guys as well, if you still want to see that, of course. Next home game, was it Villa? I'll definitely be there for that at least. Maybe United, I'll let you know in the future. But unfortunately, I won't be there at Sheffield United. But anyway, let's get straight into the preview. Just wanted to start things off with that. For me, very tough game. I think we've seen a few years ago with Huddersfield when they came up. This is a really tough time to play newly promoted teams. Obviously, that was slightly different for us because we had Frank de Boer, their new system, and it was our first proper game in that system, and we weren't really ready or adapted well enough to that system to be able to play it in the Premier League, and we lost 3-0. But I think that's the fact Huddersfield started that season so well was a massive reason they stayed up. They obviously topped the league after 3 games. I think they won 3 out of 3 games. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, in the comments below, but they started very well, and I think Sheffield United are well on track to having a good start as well, getting a draw away at Bournemouth and a last gasp goal as well. Real poacher's finish, I think, there by Billy Sharp, and that's the sort of thing they need. They're going to need to grind out games, and I think that's Sheffield United. If they're being realistic, if they are going to have any hope of staying up, and this isn't me being disrespectful towards Sheffield United at all. It's just they are one of the favourites to go down, and when you look at their squad on paper, you can see why. I think it's going to be difficult for them to score goals this season, but with players like Billy Sharp, who are obviously so loyal and faithful to the club, and there's a big core of players there that are very, very loyal and passionate about Sheffield and Sheffield United specifically, the club in general. I think it's a very tight-knit group. Wilder as well in charge. It's all very, very close and tight-knit, and I think that goes a long way in getting you through a season in the Premier League as a newly promoted team. So for me, I do think in the long term they are going to go down, but I do think if they have any chance of staying up, it's these sort of games against Palace, unfortunately, that they will have to target as wins, of course, and at their home games. I think it's very important, especially at a place, at home, that they've got to be able to make an atmosphere. And, coming back into the Premier League, it's going to be massive atmosphere up there, and I think that could be enough in the long term if it all clicks to keep them up. It's going to be very difficult for them, but they're going to have to get results at home. And I think starting with Palace, first home game, makes it very, very difficult for us. Looking at how Palace should approach this game, I thought we had a fantastic draw against Everton opening day. I'm expecting to see some more involvement of the new signings. Obviously, Camarasa, Cahill and McCarthy, they didn't feature against Everton. I'm hoping to see Camarasa make an appearance. I don't know whether McCarthy will be involved or not, or Cahill. But I could see Roy, I don't think Saka's fully fit yet. And I think Cahill, the fact he played for the under-23s, along with Camarasa and McCarthy, I think he's trying to make sure his fitness is up to scratch before putting him into the team. So I feel like, especially how well Dan and Kelly defended at the back, I feel like they will start. But I would love to see players like Camarasa, McCarthy getting some game time in the first team. I think this is the best time to play them as well against a newly promoted team. As I said, it's a hard time to play them at the start of the season. This is probably the most likely time it is for a newly promoted team to get, play them at their hardest. I think this is probably the best they'll perform at this point in the season. But I think that quality-wise, and in terms of playing opposition, to get yourself into the groove of the Premier League for players like Camarasa, who obviously was with Cardiff last year, but these are good games to get yourself going at the start of the season. So before I get into prediction with the score, let's cut across now and I'll show you my predicted 11. I did really well last week, actually. I predicted not many starters and that there would not many new signings would be in that 11, and it ended up being quite accurate. So let's see if I can do the same this time. So as you can see with the team, I'm going with the same setup, 4-4-2. let's be honest, it can drop back. I think away from home, Roy may set up differently, especially going up to Sheffield as well, playing Sheffield United away. It's a very, very tough place to go. And as I said, first home game back in the Prem, they're going to be rocking. They're going to be pressing straight from the off. They're going to look to get an early, quick goal. So we may look to drop in and make it a little bit deeper, a little bit more compact, as Rafa Benitez would say, to make it harder to break down and then look to break on the counter. First goal will be crucial in a game like this. So I'm sticking with Guaita in goal. I thought he was superb. One of the most underrated goalkeepers in the Prem, in my opinion. What a save against Everton in that first half. And he's just starting to really, really gel into the team now. You can see before when he joined the club, he didn't really understand any English. He's now starting to speak the language, and he's learning English very well, and all of this together is really good signs, and he's a top keeper, really is. And to get him on a free, I think, was a massive signing, and I really like him. Obviously, he starts in goal. For me, it's going to be the same back line, and we'll see whether Cahill features. I doubt it, but I think the back line will stay Ward, Van Arnholt as the wide players in the back four. Right and left back, and then obviously Dan and Kelly in the middle. Both of them were very, very solid. Very impressed with them against Everton. Then we're going for a flat four. Of course, this can turn into, as I said, we may set up 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3 because we're away from home. I'm going with 4-4-2 because it worked so well in the last game, but I would not be surprised if we changed formation slightly to have more wing, to be more wing based. But I'm sticking with 4-4-2 for this. Maya, I don't know whether he will start in this one purely because of Wilf coming back into the squad. So I've gone with Zaha here because I think if Wilf's fit and ready to go, he goes straight into the team, and I don't think there's any mucking about there. So Andros and Wilf out wide. I think he's going to stick with Luca and MacArthur. That MacArthur role that's the role that could be a number of players. I think it could. Kiarte's obviously fit. It could be Kiarte, Camarasa, McCarthy, Max Meyer. Any one of those could play in that role. So honestly, in that position, I do not know what Roy's going to go with, but I'm just going to go with what worked in the last game. I feel like Roy tends to go with building momentum and sticking with players that play well, and he tries not to change things up too often unless he absolutely has to. So I feel like he will stick with MacArthur in there next to Luca. Obviously, massive news about him signing the new contract earlier in the week. Fantastic news. And then up front, I think he will stick with Ayew Benteke. I think both of them will play fantastically well. I wouldn't drop either of them right now until there's a reason to drop them, to be honest. And because our striking options are so limited, I can't see Benteke really losing his spot. I think Ayew, unless he scores a goal, is the only one who I could see dropping out for someone else, maybe changing formation. We only see Benteke up top, Zaha Townsend out wide, and Maya comes in as an extra midfielder. We don't know, but I'm predicting 4-4-2. That's how I see us lining up. Obviously, guys, please put down your predicted lineups below. I love to hear your thoughts on the team and your selection. It is in the start of the season, especially for Palace right now, I find it very hard to predict these 11s. So I was quite happy of how close I was with the Everton lineup. In terms of predicted scoreline, I'm going to go with 2-1 Palace. I think this is a massive game. I think we have to at least get a draw. Absolute bare minimum a draw. We need to look to win these games. So often, as I said in previous videos, we start very slowly in seasons. Only one season I think we started decently. That was our FA Cup final season. We need to, especially against newly promoted teams, I should say, look to be getting wins here and just get off to a good start. As I said, we've got Man United coming up next. If we lose against Sheffield United, I think we'll probably lose at Old Trafford the way they're playing at the moment. And then obviously 1 point through 3, you're immediately in that bracket down at the bottom. And we want to try and get out of that mindset, try and look to play good football, of course. And, we've got a squad that's better than that sort of league position suggests, and so many times we're in that relegation battle and we have to wait till January or February to get out of it. Hopefully we can break the trend and get off to a good start, and a draw against Everton is a good start, solid start. Hopefully we build on that, get a win against Sheffield United. As I said, really tough time to play them, tough place to go, and the only thing that I think will get us over the line is the fact that they lack. I do think Billy Sharp will be massive for them, but I think they lack goals. McBurney he's a championship striker in my opinion. I don't think he's necessarily going to provide them the goals. So I think goals will be a problem for them, and I think that is what's going to get us over the line. And the Zaha effect, of course. I think Zaha will have a field day against them if he's on fire. So that's my thoughts, guys. Please comment your predictions down below. Here's my team. Put your team, your score predictions, anything about the game down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Your support on the channel has been massive, and I really, really appreciate it. The review of the game will be coming out on Sunday, straight after the game finishes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.